Alright, so you guys saw the highlight video on this transmission. So now I'm in the process of rebuilding it. And I just wanted to go over the assembly pretty much of the front of the transmission, especially the C2 and C3 clutch drum. Because I think it can get a little tricky. Alright, you saw putting the drum together, how you got to line the tabs up so everything goes in. And then you have the piston here for the C3, the C2 piston and balance piston in here. So now what we're going to do is stack up. I'm going to show you how the drum gets stacked up clutch-wise, and then we just got to take it apart again to put the hubs in and everything, as everything will go in, and then we're going to put the C1, C4 drum in, the club, we're going to put the whole thing together, and I'll show you how it goes. Okay, and one thing that I did forget to mention during the highlight video was with the low reverse piston all the way on the bottom, or the B4 piston, that has to go in a certain way because there is a cutout, a hole cutout, because the output speed sensor reads the park gear. So you have to line the piston up with the hole so the sensor can go through and read the park gear. The sensor can go in more than one way. Also, you have to put it in correctly so the parking pole will work as well. All right, so just pay attention on how it comes out, because the first time it went in, you know, there's a tab on it, so you got to drop it in between the two lugs so it stays. So the first time I just set it in place, I didn't put it in place, and I looked and I saw it was wrong, so I took it up, moved it over one lug, and put it in. So, and during the highlight video, I forgot to tell you about setting it so, you know, because it's got to read the park here. All right, so what I want to do, and also on these, I'll give you a close-up shot of this case after we do the drum assemblies, but the, I think it's the B2, I'm sorry, the B3, which is the second brake, or second clutch, that's the aluminum piston, and I'm telling you, that sucker has got to go in straight, or it's not going to go in. So I laid it down, level, and then I tapped it around, and it went going in, and then it must have came level, and boom, it dropped right in. But I mean, probably about a half an hour just, you know, trying to get it in place to start it. So you don't have much tolerance there, so you got to be careful with that. And if you get that thing jammed in there, which thank God it worked out good for me. All right, so I'm going to get a little closer, and like I said, the first thing we're going to do is stack up the clutch drum so you see how the clutches go, and then we got to take it apart again, and then we'll put the drum in and the hubs and everything, and we'll just stack everything up and put the whole drum together, because then the whole thing will drop right in, you know, to the case here, and then the pump will go in. All right, so let me get a little closer, and we'll start with the stacking of the clutches. Okay, all right, so the first thing we're going to put in are the C2 clutches. Now, you got to just kind of keep them, well, I guess you'll pretty much know if you make a mistake, because these clutches are much thicker. These are the C3. All right, so if you put the C3 steels down in the bottom, when you go to put the snap ring in, you won't be able to put the snap ring in. All right, so you're going to know there that there's a problem. So these are much thinner. All right, so we're going to stack up the C2 clutch with the thin steel going down first. Okay, then you alternate. You know what, let me actually get more on top of the drum. Let me just switch angles here. Okay, all right, so we have a clutch in, a steel and a clutch in, so we're going to alternate. All right, the top plate, and then we're going to put the snap ring in. All right, so they want about, you know, I think around like 20 thousandths or so. All right, so this is good. I'm hoping this is coming out. The lighting is good and you guys can see this. Okay, so now, remember, now this clutch, when it gets applied, is going to get pushed up. All right, and when the C3 clutch gets applied, it's going to get pushed down. So we're going to start by putting a snap ring in. Okay, and now we're going to put the pressure plate in first. All right, and then we alternate. So when this gets air checked, it's going to pull it down, the assembly down. Okay, so now we end up like with steel on top. So now remember the tabs, and we got to line up the tabs with these marks. All right, so you can just put this in, give it a turn. It's good. Put the snap ring in, and you got a nice, perfect clearance. Again, same, probably about 20,000, same as the other. Okay, so, but I'm going to take this apart again now because we've got to put everything else in and then stack the clutches up. I'm going to take the C3 clutches out, and then this way we can put the hubs and stuff in and just put the whole thing together. All right, so I'm going to back out. I'm going to switch angles again because I got to move this over. Okay, but I'll try to stay close up. But let me just move the camera back a little bit because I have to move over. Over where there's a hole in the bench because the drum has to go in with is the input shaft. Okay, all right. So now I have the C3 clutches out. I still have the snap ring in, and I have the C2 clutches still in place. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take. You got a bearing here, open face bearing. Okay, and we're going to set this in place. It'll drop right in. Okay, right into the spline. So that's good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put, this is the F4 sprag and the clutch hub. All right, so we're going to put this in place, and we have a bearing. We have a bearing here, and we have a race here, and we have another bearing here. All right, so we're going to spin this in. Okay, that is in. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the C2 clutch hub in. Okay, so in here, now you have this bearing here, and you have a plastic washer that's here. This is new, that came in the kit. This is what is left of the other one that got very hot. But you can see it's a plastic washer because there's a tab on it. Okay, so this, we're going to set down here. And spin that down. Okay, now we're going to put the C3 clutch hub in. Okay, so there's a bearing here, and there's another washer here. Now this is a sprag race here. Okay, so we're going to set this in. And then we're going to go back with our clutches and steels. So we got the pressure plate first. Last one. Put that in. Put our spacer in. Line up the tabs. Snap ring. And that's it. See, this really won't come out. So everything is in place. And then when you load this in, just drop it right in. And it's loaded up. Put plenty of grease around that sprag race. That washer will stay in place. And that's it. She's ready to go. So this is the assembly pretty much of the front of the transmission with the C2 and C3 clutches in this outer drum, and here, which is splined in, we have the C1 and C4 clutches. And the F4 spray is in there as well. All right, so I just wanted to go over that with you guys. All right, let's get rid of these melted washers. And I just want to give you just a close-up shot of this thing to show you what it looks like. Let me just switch angles again and we can finish up the video. All right, so here's the 4 sets of brake clutches. And when you put the pistons in that apply the clutches, you got to make sure you line the feed holes up with these holes here in the case. And I'm going to put the seal in and the larger seal on the outside. I'm going to air check them. Once the seals are in, I'll air check it. Okay, and if you could see this tab here, this actually is an anti-rattle clip. I'm not sure if I pointed this out. And this runs all the way pretty much down. This one's all the way pretty much down to about here. It doesn't go in these frictions, but it goes pretty much down to here. And it's for the set of clutches there. And that set of clutches is the B2, which is 6th gear. And this is the anti-rattle clip for that. So I just wanted to give you guys a shot of what this thing looks like. It's pretty busy with all these sets of frictions in here. And now I'm just going to drop the top piece in, put the pump in, and then the unit will be together. And then I'm going to be overhauling the valve body. So I'm hoping I'll be able to film that, overhauling the valve body on this AB60. All right, so that is all for now. Just a little extra there that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one. Okay, so I got the front section loaded in. The pump is in. As you can see, everything is turning very nicely. Just a quick tip on loading the front section of the transmission in. All right, you have to really have it laying down, you know, kind of like this, and you have to load the front section in. I had it standing upright, and when I tried to load the section in, I guess the hubs were coming out of place, and the pump was not sitting correctly. So I put everything back in place. I made sure nothing came out of place here, and everything was good, and I laid it on the bench, and then I had the second brake spray, you know, in the case, into the clutches already. And then I took the drum assembly laying down and I slid it in, moved it, and it went in. Seemed like it went in very nicely. And then I put the pump in, and the pump went flush, because before, when I had it standing up, there was a space here and I can actually rock this thing back and forth. So, you know, that's no good. You can't have that. So when I laid it down and slid the drum in, put the pump in, it sat flat. I got 2 bolts in there tight, and I have a very nice turn, and also the output shaft is great. All right, so I pretty much just got to do the valve body and finish this thing up. So I just wanted to share that tip with you guys on this AB60F, which is a 4-wheel drive. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.